Hello. In this video, we are going to learn about a financial function called as YIELDMAT or yield at maturity. We already discussed about yield and yield risk in our previous video. If you haven't watched it, please check out my previous videos. Before we implement this function in Power BI, let's try to understand what this function means with some definition and with the help of simple example in Excel. Here we have the definition and the syntax. Returns the annual yield of a security that pays interest at maturity. Basically, this function helps us to calculate the yield of a security that pays interest at maturity. So if I scroll down a bit here, we have the syntax and it takes 6 parameters and the last parameter or argument is optional. So the settlement, the first parameter. So security settlement date is the date after the issue date when the security is traded to the buyer. Maturity date is the date when the security expires, and issue date is the security's issue date. And rate is the rate at which security's interest rate at the date of issue. And PR is the security's price per $100 face value. So remember, it's the security's price per $100 face value. And we have the last parameter, which is optional. So it takes values from 0 to 4. And basically it's how the days are counted. And return value, we have the annual yield. And if I scroll down a bit, we have some remarks. And I'm not going to go into all the details here. And also we have some example. So let's try this example in Excel and also in Power BI. Here we have all the information. We have the settlement date, the maturity date, the issue date, the coupon rate, and price per $100 face value. Okay. So using this data, we are going to calculate YIELDMAT function. Okay. So how do we do that? So Excel comes with a built-in function called YIELDMAT or yield at maturity. So it takes 6 parameter or arguments. So settlement date is the settlement date here. And we have the maturity, that's the maturity date. And issue is the issue date here. And coupon rate, or the rate is the coupon rate. And then the last parameter, basis. And I think I missed one parameter here, that is the purchase price for $100 face value. And we have the last parameter, which is optional. I'm going to leave it as it is. I leave it blank, hit enter. And I have the results here, 6.10. That's how we calculate or use the YIELDMAT function or yield at maturity. So we can try to do the same thing in Power BI, and ideally we should get the same results. Let's go to PBI. I have the same data loaded in this PBI file. We have the settlement date, maturity date, issue date, coupon rate, and price per $100 face value. And you can see here the issue date being November 8, 2007, and the settlement date, that is the purchase date, was March 15, 2008. And the maturity date is November 3rd, 2008. So almost there is a gap of like, I would say 360 days between the issue date and the maturity date. And important point to remember here is the date format should always be a date format, and it cannot be a string or a text. Okay, if it is a string, you are going to get an error. So now let's quickly go to the report here and try to use or create a new function. Let me call this as YIELDMAT equal to, I'm going to use the same function, and I'm going to use selected value. And the first parameter being, what is that? Settlement date. Okay, so selected value, the settlement date or the purchase date. And the second parameter argument is maturity date. There's the date at which the bond or the instrument expires. So we have it here, and then selected value, issue date. So this is the date when the bond or the instrument was first issued, and the rate at which the bond or the instrument was issued. And then we have the price, that is the purchase price or the price at which the bond or instrument was traded. Okay, price per $100 face value. And then basis, I'm going to ignore it for now. So basically basis will determine the date consideration. Hit close the parenthesis and hit enter. So let me change this to a percentage. And let's keep 1 decimal places here. And now let me bring this to the card here. And this is exactly what we had in the Excel. So this is how we calculate the yield mat function or yield at maturity in Excel and in Power BI. I hope this video was helpful, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share with your friends or colleagues. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.